In all that confusion and panic, I did not realize that there were teams of killers everywhere. As the van was coming to my house, a group of 10 or 12 men had gone to my neighbors across the street, Aristarch the accountant and Christine his wife. They locked their house and had been praying until the mob came to their house. The mob forced the door, broke the windows, and got inside. They started beating the couple that afternoon. I could hear Christine begging for mercy the whole afternoon until I could not hear her anymore. I had never seen anything like this before. I have carried that memory for the last 15 years. Every time I try to close my eyes to go to sleep, each night, I hear her. I hear the echo of that agonizing plea for mercy. That howling call from a nursing mother haunts me to this day. What is amazing is that Christine was pleading for the killers to spare her husband, and she would not mind dying. From the maid's account, not one sound came out of Aristarch's lips. He lay still while they beat him until he died. Our neighbors were being beaten mercilessly and pleading for their lives, and nobody was doing anything. There were 2 babies in that house. The old one, Ishimwe, was Jasmine's age. The youngest, Tete, was only 6 months. Did the mob kill the babies too? But that is a curse. Banyarwanda don't do that. Well, it was past 7 then, and the street was quiet, and no more sound was coming from the house across the street. Shadrach was as upset and shaken as I was. He offered to go check just in case the family needed help. He jumped over my fence and went to Christine's house. Inside, the babies were crying softly. The killers had locked them in one room while they beat the parents. The baby had fallen off its mother's back and was covered with blood. The maid was carrying the 6-month-old Tete and was trying to soothe her. Shadrach checked on the parents. Aristarch was dead, but Christine was still breathing. She spoke to Shadrach and told him to take the babies away in case the killers came back. She said she was a lost cause and she wasn't interested in a life without her husband. Shadrach brought the kids to my house. Tete was hungry. She would look at me and burst out crying. We spent the rest of the night that way. Memories of that fateful night have been with me ever since. I can still see Ishimwe standing up on the tips of his little toes the next morning, trying to look over my fence at what was once his home, and calling to the mother who will never hear him again. Mamai! 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 An endless silence responded to his voice. My nightmares are populated of abandoned babies or unsuccessful attempts to save my husband. They all end in the same way. I wake up in cold sweat or with pounding headaches. I think what triggers them is a sense of helplessness, of someone begging for mercy for a crime she did not commit, while the world stands by.